The hardest part is worrying about how am I going to support my family and where is it going to go from here.
Alberta is now the one that's taking the hits, so how can the rest of Canada now come to our help?
Justin Trudeau, since you will not acknowledge what the low oil prices have done to our own people, I will. Basically, it was the last straw when I wrote that letter.
Alberta the strong, Alberta the prosperous, the engine of the Canadian economy. For years, that's been the story. But now oil prices are in the tank, the provincial deficit is in the billions, and Alberta is in turmoil. When you've been on top of the world for such a long time, what happens when you fall?
Oh, we gotta go under the monkey bars.
Warren Sonnenberg is taking care of his kids because he's not working.
Are you swinging?
He was laid off in January.
I like swimming.
He did 5 years in the oil patch, worked his way up from the bottom to almost $40 an hour. He never once thought the good times would end. Today he's just holding on.
Let's see. Oh, you did it again.
What do you tell the kids?
Try not to tell them too much because, you know, kids, they like to repeat everything. So they definitely don't want your son going to school, and when it comes time for show and tell, he stands up and tells the story of how his dad sits at home on the phone all day trying to find work. It gets tough. You're at your kid's hockey game, you're trying to watch them play a game and enjoy it, and you're sitting there stressed out about how am I going to pay the power bill next month. Yeah, it takes the enjoyment out of your life, and it makes things a little tough.
I mean, when do you think about all this?
All day. You think about it all day. Don't want cold fingers.
The change in Warren's life is staggering, from everything mapped out to desperation in just a few months. Warren wasn't ready at all.
You're feeling this stuff for the first time, and you're feeling this worry, and you're feeling this fear that you're looking around and you don't see any relief. You want to speak to other people, but they're embarrassed of their own situations. They don't want to speak about they filed for bankruptcy. They don't want to talk about the 2 vehicles they've lost. They don't want to talk about having to move back into their parents' basement. And I've had these things happen to several of our friends. So it's hard to watch.
Is it hard to ask for help now?
It's always hard to ask for help. Maybe that's just me.
Maybe that's anyone who finds themselves down after being on top for so long. But the situation in the province is so bad that most people can't really hide it anymore. At the food bank in Leduc, just south of Edmonton, Gert Rayner says she's never been busier. She sees how people's lives have been turned upside down.
People say all the time when they walk in the door, I always donated to the food bank. I never thought I'd have to use the food bank, and I don't want to be here, and I shouldn't have to use you. I will pay you back when I get back on my feet. But it's nothing now in a day to see, 11, 12, 13 new families a day having to use our services, which we've never seen before.
It's the same story everywhere in Alberta. At the food bank in Medicine Hat, demand is up an unbelievable 500%. The numbers are bleak, no question, but it's the people who get to Gert.
The frustration that we see of our clients, feeling like there is no tomorrow, like I'm going to lose everything. There just is there's no one out there to go to. There's no one who cares.
Even Gert is worried. She doesn't know how long she'll be able to meet the demand.
They buy seasons tickets or what?
Yeah.
Warren doesn't need the food bank yet. He still has his family. His dad's hired him to help fix up an apartment he's trying to rent.
Any word on new renters for you?
Nope.
Nothing yet?
Nothing yet. Just 2 maybes, that's it.
You did have a couple rented to pipeline crews, didn't you?
Yeah, we had 2 guys working pipelines, then they had to leave, pipeline shut down. Oil patch gets everybody.
For weeks now, Warren's been sending out resumes and following up on the phone.
Yeah, the last plumbing job I held, I was actually managing the service department.
At 35, what makes looking for work extra hard is he's never really done it before.
So whereabouts have you guys got work going on, just in the city, or? In my entire working career in this province, it was always a day or two. You made 3-4 phone calls was all it ever took, and you had a job starting tomorrow. Have a good day. So it's such a change. It's phenomenal. Another one that just goes to voicemail and they never call you back.
What would you say is something that the rest of the country doesn't know about what's happening here?
I don't think they understand how bad the entire economy is. They laugh at the oil field workers because, of course, they were just rig pigs. They were overpaid criminals to begin with, and they wasted their money and they squandered their money.
Right.
I mean, I'm a family man just like you.
Alberta's deficit for this year could reach $10 billion. When that's your balance sheet, it's no wonder people feel like their world is crumbling.
Justin Trudeau, since you will not acknowledge what the low oil prices have done to our own people, I will.
Ken Cunliffe wrote a letter to the Prime Minister because he didn't know where else to turn. Thousands of people commented on it. It was even read out in the House of Commons. Ken still has his job in the oil industry, for now, but he wanted to stand up for everyone who's lost theirs.
It's hard to say in words how scared and desperate people are becoming. My final straw was my sister, actually. Her brother-in-law works at a small oil plant in central Alberta, and they had just laid off another person. That struck my heartstrings because they've got 2 young children, one roughly grade 2, the other one around kindergarten age,
Right.
and there was no warning for him. He showed up to work that morning, they turned around and sent him home.
What is it you're feeling right now as you talk about it?
Oh, it's tough, you know. I just,
You know, it's anger or your sadness or...
it's a bit of everything, you know. These are our neighbors, these are our families, our friends, and so far, yeah, we've been lucky. Myself, my family, we've been lucky. We still have jobs, but I could be that person easily. That's the same family that I have. If I was in his position, operating at that plant like he was, laid off the following day, where do you turn?
In Alberta, Ken became a kind of folk hero. Outside the province, people attacked him.
You ready for your nap, buddy? Whiners, you've made your industry. Oil's your industry. That's your bed. Now lie in it since oil's down. And you know, you guys are the fools to have banked everything on oil. Heck, it was even one. You know, if the economy's so bad out there, why are you bringing children into this world? So.
Are you feeling part of Canada?
Part of Canada. I always feel part of Canada, but billions upon billions upon billions of dollars have left our province to be soaked up in other parts of Canada. So when is it our turn? Like, they blame us for having an Alberta economy and it's our fault. Well, what are the other provinces relying on? If oil is so bad to rely on, what are the other provinces relying on for their industry? And why can't we get a helping hand for once?
Are things really this broken? Maybe the place to find out is here. This roadhouse in Leduc is the unofficial union hall for oil workers.
Canada has the best environment.
Clarence Shields owns the place and isn't shy to serve politics along with the beer.
Well, how are you guys finding it? I mean, it's tough out there right now.
Do what we can.
Albertans are really feeling left out. I mean, we're in a situation now where we're on our knees.
This is just the beginning.
I don't know what's going to happen, to be quite honest. Like, I haven't seen it like this since the 80s.
Hurting all over.
Yeah, I agree.
Clarence knows what he's talking about. He's been through a crash before. In the 80s, he lost everything and had to start again. He has a warning from back then.
We were left as a province with nowhere to turn. We received no support federally, and we were left on our own. And that's that's what spurred so many of the splinter political parties in Alberta that wanted to separate, that wanted to leave this country. I mean, you're seeing a rehash of the 80s. You're seeing a generation that has never experienced as quick and as decisive a downturn as we've got right now. And they don't know where to turn. And all we've heard from our government so far is, don't worry, it'll be okay. Well, it's not okay. We need help. We really need help. And we're all a little disappointed that Justin didn't come to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
And he could have. Don't you believe he could have? It could have at least.
Yeah, if he's got money for immigrants to come here, I'm pretty sure he had money to help us out. Just saying. Makes no sense.
Yeah. We might lose money. We might lose our business. We might lose our homes. But give us an opportunity and we'll be back in the game. And we're not going to be broken. We're going to continue to grow.
Clarence knows that eventually things will rebound.
Come on, buddy.
But for Warren, it's all about right now.
We can come back and swing tomorrow. If times are really this difficult, what's a guy gonna do? If you can't depend on your education and a trade even to find a job, do I start all over? Do I have to go to the bank and look for financing so I can go back to school for 2 or 3 years and train for something else that is in demand? And how do I do that with a family?
Those are questions being asked all over Alberta, and there aren't any obvious answers. A question for the whole country might be, how much does Alberta matter? Nick Purdon, CBC News, Camrose, Alberta.